The LED fog lights with the sequential turn signals will be a relatively affordable option compared to others here on the site for the 2018 and newer GT or EcoBoost owners who might be looking for a powerful fog light replacement with the benefit of an additional aftermarket running light that will incorporate sequential turn signal functionality thanks to the combination of both the white and amber LEDs. So this product is going to appeal to the later S550 owners out there, the 2018 and up GT and EcoBoost owners, for a couple of different reasons. Now, first up, you are getting a factory style fog light, which if you're a GT owner, maybe you've damaged your stockers or looking for an upgrade. If so, these will certainly be a great option for you. On the other hand, if you're an EcoBoost owner, well then chances are you missed out on the fog lights from the factory, and if so, this would be a great way to implement those into your front end without completely breaking the bank. Now, regardless if you have a GT or an EcoBoost, I would say both owners should absolutely benefit from the main feature here with these lights, and that is the sequential turn signals that really add a tasteful look or tasteful touch of customization to the front end thanks to the inclusion of the white and amber LEDs. Now, this does allow these lights to also operate as a running light, kind of independent of that fog light, but once those turn signals are fired up, the sequential party begins, and at that point really does make these options stand out. Now, all of that lighting has been loaded into the durable automotive grade chromed ABS plastic housing before being sealed up nice and tight to prevent any moisture from building up behind that clear impact resistant polycarbonate lens. Now, if I were to give my 2 cents on these lights, and I'm going to me, once I pulled them out of the box, they appear very similar to the factory style lights in a lot of different ways, from the chromed housing to the clear lens. And honestly, guys, that's a good thing. I think a lot of times something like this can tend to look very aftermarket, and that's not going to be the case here. So for those of you who are trying to adhere more to that factory recipe, certainly a great option for you. On the other hand, if you're looking to go with more of like a smoked out or darker, more aggressive light, you might want to check out some of our other options here instead. Finally, guys, the lights are backed by a 1-year limited warranty just in case you should run into any issues. And the lights themselves are both DOT and SAE approved, and that's going to make them legal for use in all 50 states. Now, the LED options here will land you right around that low $300 price point, give or take a bit for the pair, which seems to be, I would say, on the lower side of the pricing spectrum, especially when you start comparing these to your other options on the site, such as companies like the S550 Euros, Diode Dynamics, and so on. Now, all of those options I just mentioned, certainly going to cost you at least $100 to $200 more than the chromed LED options that we have here on the table today. But moving into the install, and the site's gonna call this a solid 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, taking you, I would say, at least an hour to complete from start to finish. Now we're gonna throw it out to the guys in the shop for our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown. Check it out.
The tools you'll need for this project are a ratchet, a 5.5, a 7, an 8, a 10, and a 13mm socket, a long extension, a swivel joint, and a trim panel removal tool. Hi everyone, today we're installing a set of fog lights on our Mustang, so let's get started with the uninstall first. All right, now you don't have to do this on a lift, you can definitely do this on the ground or on a set of jack stands. We'll make it even easier. We're only got it on the lift because we want to be able to show you exactly where everything is at. So the first thing we're going to do is remove 4 screws from the bottom of our splash guard here. We've got one here, it's set up inside, one here, and then we've got one here and one here. So let's go ahead and take those out first, and then we'll get to the push pins. So using our 7mm socket, we'll take out these 2 back ones here. Now we'll take out the 2 front ones, again with our 7mm socket. Now using our trim removal tool or a flathead screwdriver if you don't have one of these, go ahead and pop these push pins out here, here, and here. And now you can remove the other 3 on the other side. Now we've got 3 more push pins on each side, just inside the fender well here, one at the bottom, one in the middle, and then there's one up here that's a little difficult to see. It's set inside. So we need to remove those 3 push pins, on both sides. So again, using our trim removal tool or a flathead screwdriver, go ahead and pop these out. Now you can repeat that process for the other side. All right, now we're going to remove our radiator cover here using our push pin removal tool. We've got 8 push pins that we have to remove, and then we can lift our cover up. Now we can remove the 8 bolts that go across the top of the bumper here, and the 2 on the ends are going to be 5.5 millimeter, and everything in between is going to be an 8 millimeter. Now there are 2 more nuts that we have to take off on each side. They're located inside the fender here. It's very difficult to get the camera in there, so you're not going to be able to see them this way, but trust me, they're in here. And if you use a swivel socket or a swivel joint and a deep socket, you can get to the nuts on both sides. I find it easy to do that way. If you don't have this type of a setup on yours, then you can do it going in through the fender well here. Just peel back the fender liner, and you can reach in and you'll see the 2 nuts right in there. I find it easier to go in through the top here, so let's go ahead and get those removed, and then we can get our bumper on. And now you can repeat that process for the other side. All right, once you've got those last 4 nuts removed, we can go ahead and separate our bumper from the fender. And to do that, we're just going to grab a hold of our bumper here, pull down and out. And I like to put a cloth over top of the studs on here just to prevent from scratching the paint. So what we're going to do, like I said, we're just going to grab this, pull it down and out, and then just put a soft cloth over the studs and do the same thing for the other side. All right, now we can go ahead and lift up on the top of our bumper here, get it off of the pins that hold it in place, and pull it out. Now you don't want to pull it all the way out just yet because we do need to disconnect the turn signals. Lift our bumper up, pull it out. Now we'll disconnect our fog light and turn signal harness here simply by pushing down on the release tab and pulling it away. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Now with our turn signal harnesses disconnected, we can just go ahead and lift this out of the way. Now once we've got our bumper off, we can remove our fog light and our turn signal combination by removing 3 7mm screws, 2 on the top here and 1 on the bottom. And once you've got your screws removed, simply slide the light out. And now you can repeat that process for the other side. Now to install our new lights, we're just going to reverse the process that we used to uninstall them. Keeping in mind, of course, that these lights are side specific. And if you look in the upper corner here, you'll see either an L or an R. L is for driver, R is for passenger. So we'll go ahead and get this installed, slide this into place, and now we'll reinstall the original hardware. Now we'll reinstall our hardware, 2 on the top, 1 on the bottom, and we'll tighten them down with our 7mm socket. Now you can repeat that process for the other side. Now we're ready to reinstall our bumper. First, we've got to connect our fog lights to the vehicle harness, so let's get that done. Plug in our harness to our light, make sure that it snaps into place, and then repeat for the other side. So now we'll lift our bumper up, set it on the alignment tabs at the top. Now we go ahead and install our bumper to the fender, inserting the studs back into the original slots. And now we'll go ahead and put our nuts back on. Remember, it's a little tough to get the camera in here, but you know where they're at because you just put them into place. And now we'll tighten them down with our 10mm socket. And now you can just tighten it down. And now do the same thing for the other side. Now we can put our 8 screws back along the top, remembering to put our 5.5mm on the ends and our 8mm in the middle. Now we'll tighten down our center ones with our 8mm socket. And we'll get the ones on the ends with our 5.5mm. Now we'll install a radiator cover and secure it with the original push pins. Now we'll put our push pins back in on the outside of our fender well here. Remember, we've got 3 of them and the one at the top that's recessed. And now you can repeat that process for the other side. All right, now we can install the push pins on the inner part of the fender liner, secure the splash pan, and then one at the bottom of the splash pan to the frame, and do the same thing for the other side. And finally, we'll install our last 4 7mm screws. Remember, we've got 2 in the back here that are recessed, and 2 up here towards the front. And we'll tighten them down with our 7mm socket. And that wraps up our review and install of the LED fog lights with sequential turn signals for your 18 to 23 Mustang GT and EcoBoost. Thanks for watching, and remember, for all things Mustang, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.